Dijkstra. Now we'll go across to Mark, who's been looking at what's being discussed at the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, specifically with regard to Iran's nuclear capability.
Hello, guys, and hello, viewers. The Chicago Council, the former Chicago CFR, I've been following them for about 15 years. They're one of the busiest think tanks in the U.S., as I've mentioned. And I covered this in real time virtually last Tuesday. So these are all original photos and it's firsthand coverage. The name of the program, The Middle East on Edge, What's Next for Iran, Israel, and the region. Of course, U.S. interests were mentioned. And one thing I'll mention right up front is Leslie Vinjamuri, shown to the left there. She's the new Chicago Council president. She took over for Ivo Daalder. She's fresh out of Chatham House. And I'm already detecting a little bit of more of a bias in favor of Israel, a little bit of a harder line tone for the programs here. It's a little early to tell for sure, but I'm detecting that a little bit. She's shown here with Rachel Bronson, one of the three speakers. Rachel's senior advisor at the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist, previously its president and CEO, overseeing its programming and its iconic Doomsday Clock. And we'll move forward from there. The Doomsday Clock, that's just a quick reminder of what it looks like. That's been with us a long time. Part propaganda, part reality, perhaps. It's from the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist, kind of a famous thing. But here's the other two speakers, all original photo screenshots. Shown here, we have left Robert Pape. We'll be focusing on him in a minute. University of Chicago political science professor. He directs the Chicago Project on Security and Terrorism, focusing on air power, etc. Then we have Ali Vaez, who directs the Iran Project, and he's senior advisor to the president at the International Crisis Group. What is the Iran Project? Very briefly, it supports principled democracy to prevent Iran, they say, from acquiring a nuclear weapon and avert military conflict in the Middle East. So the overall panel was pretty biased against Iran, pretty much looking out mainly for Israel's interests. Here's a summary. I have a summary of what they had to say. Robert Pape spoke of the Big 408. He referred to Iran allegedly having 408 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, not quite weapons grade, we're told. And he claimed Iran's only weeks away from 90%, allegedly worth 10 nuclear weapons, about 10 nuclear weapons worth, allegedly. But he asked, where's the 408 kilograms now? It's not known. Mr. Vaez, he said Iran has a victory narrative, Israel has a victory narrative, and in a way, so does the U.S. He said Iran responded with the most destruction in Israel since 1973. The damage is worse than assumed, he said. And he also announced that a UN resolution that endorsed the formerly U.S.-supported Iran nuclear deal expires in October. So that UN nuclear deal expires in October, the UN resolution that endorsed it, that is. And then Rachel Bronson claimed the ceasefire will hold because Israel's attack was so, quote, so consequential. And she said that Iran, in her view, is trying to find intelligence gaps, that is, that it can exploit. But from there, Euronews has picked up on this in recent times, claiming that Iran has amassed 408 kilograms of uranium enriched up to 60%. And this is according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, a branch of the UN watchdog. But of course, Iran claims it's for peaceful uses. And we haven't heard that much about the 408 kilograms. It's something that's kept kind of hush-hush, more or less. But here's Mr. Pape from the University of Chicago elaborating on that point.
I think the big number, folks, you should focus on is the number 408. 408. Iran had, at the end of May, 408 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium. That was the core concern. They had 20%, they had 5%, but that 408 is what they need, what the 60%. They were only weeks away of moving that up to 90%. That 408 was the equivalent of 10 nuclear bombs. 10. And the estimates were they were somewhere between 5 and 8 months away. You'd have to enrich, you'd have to formulate it and to assemble the bombs and so forth. Well, where is that 408 today? We don't know. And that was always the core conclusion of every single one of those hypothetical bombing scenarios that we did. We would take out, with exquisite precision, every building standing above ground. Well, we pretty much did that. We would also take out, through what I called double tap attacks, that was my name for it, it wasn't even called a name 20 years ago, where GPS, the thing you need to know about GPS, folks, is it's three-dimensional. It's not just two-dimensional the way it is on your phone. So if the first bomb creates a crater, the second bomb can target that depth, another, and the third can maybe penetrate all the way through into those hulls. Well, the fundamental problem we were always going to face, that word futile, was we would never be able to verify that 408. And in this case, it's actually worse, because in the intervening time between the time Israel started the bombing and the United States bombed Fordo and Natanz, we know through satellite imagery, civilian satellite imagery, which is now exquisite, that there were trucks taking stuff out from Fordo.
So those are Mr. Pape's claims. He's, by the way, the author of a book called Bombing to Win from 1996, a curious title to say the least. But the only mention of Israel's arsenal or anything like that was very, very brief, just a passing comment at the end. So it seems like, while there could be some truth to this, on the other hand, it could be largely or completely for peaceful uses. And at any rate, Israel always gets a pass on its arsenal and any inspections there, which never happen. So this was a kind of an unexpected thing to hear, for me at least, at this program, but an important thing to get out on the news. So back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Mark. I think important to point out that absence of evidence is not the same as evidence of absence, as it were. And I think those two things are very easily confused and conflated. I'm going to have a bit more on Iran later in the program. But